Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Gainesville Rotary Tuesday meeting at the Cade. Please silence your cell phones, and if you're watching on YouTube, please register your participation by sending an email to info@rotarygainesville.org. Please join me in welcoming Pete and Walt to lead us in song and pledge.
I had to do some repairs at my house, so I found this handyman, and he came over and I gave him a list, about 10 things to do. And so he went through them and finally he said he was finished. So I went to check on his work, and he'd only done the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 7 and the 9 on the list. And I said, "What's up? Why didn't you do the rest of them?" He said, "Well, I just do odd jobs." They don't get any better. We're going to sing Acapulco today, and we're going to sing My Country 'Tis of Thee. My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land of my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. I don't think we have to do that for the song. Anyway, would you join me in pledging allegiance to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And joining us for our invocation via Zoom today, Kevin Thorpe.
May we pray. Lord, we are glad and thankful that we get to participate in a club that recognizes all of our differences, that binds us all together as we commit to global change. Thank you for today's program and helping us to understand how artificial intelligence can play a role in uniting us and pressing us forward. We pray for your sake, for your glory. Amen.
You may be seated. We invite our guests and traveling Rotarians to remain standing so you can introduce yourselves to our club.
I guess we don't have a secondary, so I'll run around here.
Oh, we get to be first. Hi, I'm Rebecca Nagy. I'm fairly new back to the club here in Gainesville, and my husband is my guest today, Paul Nagy. He retired as a vice president at Hillsborough Community College in Tampa in June, and we moved back to Tampa. He's been very active working with AI, so he's eager to hear Dr. Reeves talk today.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. Jay Nordquist. I have as my guest today, my friend Joe White with Gray Construction.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. Billy Dodd. I brought my whole family. My husband, Jeff Dodd, daughter, Daisy Adkins, and future son-in-law, Clayton Dennison.
Absolutely.
Again, Connie and Bob Green, we greet you from Iowa City, Iowa.
Hey y'all, Mary Kate Walker, and my guest today is Star Stevens with Merrill Lynch. I did it.
Good morning. I'm Felix Haynes. This is the third time I've visited this club. I am a member of the Plant City Rotary Club. I've been a member for 25 years, working in Hillsborough County, and I worked at Hillsborough Community College also, along with Paul Nagy. We worked together for 10 or 12 years and balanced each other off well. And I retired in June of 12, and my wife and I have moved to Gainesville and looking for a Rotary Club.
Thank you all for joining us today. With our first announcement, Jason Schenk.
All right. Well, thank you, Bill. I really appreciate that. Matthew it can't make it today, but I'm jumping in and just want to give an update on the game feast that's coming up next Thursday. It's already here. So we had an awesome turnout on Saturday. I got to tell you, it was more work that I've seen get done. Now, I'm not saying that I did the work. We know that. But just an absolute awesome turnout. We got a lot done. The site looks great. Terry, our site manager out there, she's phenomenal, along with, well, not really our site manager, but our full-time resident. Our site manager this year officially is Bradley. So Bradley Davis is our site manager. He's really a go-to person. If you have a question, if you're looking for a tool, you don't know where something is at, Bradley's going to be out there running around like he is every year. So a special thanks to John Thomas, who cooked some outstanding smash burgers on Saturday. Thank you very much. Came back from a business trip in the Panhandle, went to Publix, got all the stuff, stayed up late, cut up some onions, took special requests from everybody that was out there. No onions, cheese, no cheese, well done, medium. And then we had a special advanced request from one of our wonderful members that wanted some turkey burgers, and I hear they're really good. Thank you. All right, so a couple other things on here. This coming Saturday is another work day. We still have a lot of follow-up things in preparation for the feast. Wednesday is a big day prior, half day Wednesday going into the feast. And then Thursday, the day of the feast. So anyone that comes out, we definitely require participation, which would be a ticket when you come out. But definitely the day of the event. It seems like it starts at 4 for our sponsorship teams that come out. But leading up to that point, we are always in a last minute, it seems like, rush to get everything ready. So many hands do a lot of work. So if you can come out early Thursday, Wednesday afternoon, it would be greatly appreciated. There's several volunteer opportunities on your tables, I believe, today. Ticket sales. We definitely need everyone in this room to help with ticket sales. So tickets are $85. Buy 5, get the 6th one free. Give them all your friends. If you're Wilbur, I'd recommend just getting 2 tickets there, so you might have some limitations there. Raffle, see Wilbur, we've got some great raffle opportunities out there, so thank you to Southeast Car Agency and the Cousin family for doing that year in and year out and really being a title sponsor for us, which is awesome. In addition to the raffle, we have 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place prizes. I have one under here that's been in a barrel for a long time. This is a very expensive bottle, but we've got some goodies that will be raffling off as we go through it. So there you go. So Matthew has some other surprises as well. This is our 40th Wild Game Feast, and I got to tell you, when you see Matthew, you just shake his hand. Matthew has been out there on his days off, working hard, building all kinds of different things. I mean, really. He's an engine. He's been nonstop. So Matthew's also really been in charge of the sponsorship committee, which is really a lot of Matthew, Wesley, behind the scenes, numbers, preparation, and then of course Kirk, who's doing all the heavy lifting on the Rotary side for cooking, and then our partners with the Hills catering team, who really come in and just do an awesome job. So we're looking forward to that event. I'm almost done. Before you throw me off, let me check, make sure I didn't leave anything off Matthew's list. Let's see, many more prizes. See Wilbur, bye. And let's see, I think that's it. Thank you very much. Hope to see you Saturday.
And now please join me in welcoming Jay Nordquist to the podium.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. It is my honor as the Paul Harris Fellow Chair this year to honor yet another Paul Harris Fellow. I'd like to have Billy Dodd and her family, Jeff and Daisy, come up here and join me at the front here. So Billy joined, she's, thank you all for being here to honor your mom. in this amazing, on this amazing wife?
Yes.
Yes, of course. I better get back to my notes because I do have it correctly here. Her husband, Jeff, and daughter, Daisy, are here to celebrate Billy here today. So we're so glad that you're here to honor your mom and your wife. And, becoming a Paul Harris Fellow represents one of the pillars of being a Rotarian. It truly is a milestone in our club. Billy joined our club in 2021, and she's been an active member ever since. She's actively involved in committees. I know her and Jeff both have been out at the Wild Game Feast working out there. She's currently serves on the board. And so, Billy, for everything that you do, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. We're lucky to have you in our club. And I know we stole her away from Lake City, so we're really happy that she's here. Your support of the Rotary Foundation and our club is greatly appreciated. And thank you for making a difference in the world and all that you do, both personally and professionally. We are very lucky to have you. And fellow Rotarians and guests, please join me in congratulating Billy Dodd as our newest Paul Harris Fellow.
They didn't trust me with the pen.
Thank you. Feel like a rock star after that. So Billy would like to say a few words. So I'm going to turn the microphone over to her.
I wouldn't be a good servant or a good Rotarian if I didn't instill service in my family. I would like to also honor with the Paul Harris recognition. Daisy was the Baker County Rotary pageant winner as Miss Teen Baker County. She's a RILA alumni at Stetson University and president of her high school Rotary Club. She graduated high school with honors and finished her AA at 19 years old with honors. She will complete her RN next month at the age of 20. She works at UF and was awarded the Mental Health Ally of the Month award. She's always calm in stressful situations and keeps the energy positive. And she has always been a servant at heart, serving those with mental and physical disabilities. She has a gift, and I'm honored to honor our daughter with the Paul Harris Award. But wait, I'm not done. I also have the privilege and honor to be in covenant with someone who's a Rotary husband, a hospice husband, and no matter the ask, he's there building ramps, showers, etc., toting tables for the Wild Game Feast, and anything for those in need that I ask. He's a flight nurse, an ICU nurse, a paramedic firefighter, and the battalion chief for Nassau County. He's the honor guard commander and a loving husband. No matter what the call or who's in need, he never questions. He's on board, and I'm so grateful for his servant's heart and the calling God has on his life.
Got another picture. Thank you, Rotarians. We appreciate you. Amazing, Billy. What a contribution to the foundation, and what a wonderful family that she has. Amazing daughter and an incredible husband. So thank you all for taking the time and honoring Billy.
And up now to introduce our craft talk for today, Brendan Shortley.
Thank you. It's a privilege today to do this. I had a big, long introduction that was going to be 59 and a half seconds. I wasn't going to go over time. But I think I'm almost about to throw that out because John Cousins on the way in today gave me something very special. They were clearing out Ben Rhodes' office. Those of you know Ben Rhodes, a long time ago, and gave me, this was on his wall, the object of Rotary. And this is way before a lot of the things we say out loud today. I'm going to read it quickly to you. The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of worthy enterprise, and in particular to encourage and foster, first, the development of acquaintance as an opportunity for service. Second, high ethical standards in business and professions, the recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupations, and the dignifying by each Rotarian of his occupation as an opportunity to serve society. Third, the application of the ideal of service by every Rotarian to business and community life. And fourth, last, the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional people united in the ideal of service. Couldn't have said it any better for who I'm going to honor today and introduce, Nancy Hart. You all know her. Quickly, I'm going to do the double speed version since I just took up half the time reading that. Professor of Emerita, Pathology and Obstetrics, University of Florida. Very significant projects, including identifying areas of impoverishment in our community, the result of which were actions. Some people think about things, some people create ideas, and then that's it. Nancy does all the phases. She creates it, she gets people involved, like me, indentured into her servitude cheerfully, and then she puts it into action, okay? Does it all. That's what we need, and that's what most of you do. But she does it on steroids. The lady never stops. Just when you think she's done, you have Mobile Outreach Clinic, which we all have heard, Southwest Area Gainesville, and Child Advocacy Center. This is all Nancy. She started all these things, or at least led to their development and establishment. You know, huge things. Now we're and partners in crime on yet another thing, childhood homelessness. We're going to tackle that together. We identified that as a new need that was never talked about very much in this community. So she's worked for senators, she's worked for speakers of the House at the nation's capital. She developed a health report card for this county that identified areas that needed addressing, which is what led to a lot of these things that I just mentioned. Safety Net Collaborative. She called me up one night and said, let's get together with all these nonprofits, and instead of working against each other in silos, let's all get together and talk about this stuff. And what do you know? We started with 5 people and we brought cake. And then now we're up to hundreds of organizations that are in this group. And now I want to make sure I don't get the bong and introduce one of my favorite ladies in the world that I've known for decades, Nancy Hart.
Whoa, he's tall. I have a family of doctors. My father and grandfather were doctors. My sister married a doctor. I married a doctor, and I became one too. And now my daughter is the 4th generation doctor in my family. Growing up in the post-World War II suburbs of Chicago meant that I didn't live around or go to school with any Black people. I only knew one. Her name was Leela, and she was our housekeeper. By the time I could read and write and spell, I figured out that Leela was illiterate. She never read books to me. When she wrote items on the shopping list for my mother to buy, we struggled to interpret them. I wasn't shy with Leela, so I asked her what the words meant, and probably not very politely corrected her spellings for things like vinegar, spaghetti, mustard. Leela thought I was brilliant. and began asking me how to spell words she needed to write down. She prized literacy. When I was 5, I was walking to school when a teenage boy pushed me down behind a bush and sexually assaulted me. I was traumatized, to be sure, but even more ashamed, and didn't tell anyone. I begged my mother to make my big sisters walk to school with me, but they would not. I stopped eating and became anorectic. My father didn't know what to do, so he took me around to a bunch of his other doctor friends who didn't know what to do. Leela did. Her face showed concern for me, and she wrote foods on the grocery list which she knew I would eat. Chicken for frying, chocolate for cake, bologna and cheese and Wonder Bread for sandwiches, frozen pizzas, hot dogs. She did everything she could to improve my self-esteem, telling me I was the smartest little girl in Crescent Park. I didn't thrive, but with her help, I survived. I loved her. My humble and very kind father was concerned that Social Security would not secure her in retirement, so he gave her some AT&T stock. She retired when I went to college, and we lost touch because she couldn't read my letters or write to me, and there were no cell phones. But one day, my mother sent me an obituary sometime later, and it stated that she had in her will left a remarkable sum of $250,000 to the local community college for scholarships. When I was in 3rd grade, there was a new girl in my class. My teacher rearranged the desks to put her next to me and then asked me to please be her buddy. She was so different. She was the child of missionaries and had just returned from Southeast Asia. Her haircut was strange, her clothes were out of style. She was soft-spoken, she didn't know our schoolyard games, but to me, she was fascinating. I couldn't wait to be invited to her home where the food they served smelled strange and exotic. She had almost no toys. At that tender age, I found her differentness unique and charming. Then I went to medical school. During my residency in OBGYN, we rotated for 3 months at the VA hospital in internal medicine. There, I learned to speak truth to power. I had a patient who had a small cell lung cancer, which was not curable. But small cell cancers often have neuroendocrine function, and his produced ACTH, a hormone normally produced in the pituitary gland, but when dysregulated causes Cushing syndrome. Because of this unique feature of his tumor, the endocrinologists were very interested in him. They told him they could not cure him, but they might be able to administer drugs that would block the ACTH and reduce the side effects. Over 3 months, I admitted him and discharged him on a regular basis. One day, on admission, he said, "Dr. Hart, I'm done. I don't want to come back to the VA anymore. I just want to go home and spend my last days with my family." When I went to make rounds on him that afternoon, he said the endocrinologists were very upset that he would not continue with his experimental drug regimen and told him they wouldn't discharge him. He would have to abandon post or go AWOL, as they called it in the VA. Here's the kicker. He would not receive prescriptions for the pain medicines he was on. I felt myself grow furious, imagining that he felt as powerless as I did that day I got pushed down behind a bush. So I called my senior resident, who said, "Okay, Nance, here's what you do. Stay on the floor until all the clerks go home. Fill out the discharge paperwork yourself. Don't worry about making a return appointment. Tell the patient and his wife they are free to leave, but first, find out who his primary care physician is and call him." Of course, his local doc was willing to assume his comfort care, including pain meds, and to care for him until he died. And this is my last story. I came to UF and ran the OB ultrasound lab. I had a really talented ultrasound nurse, and we both happened to have babies within a few months of each other. But I had a weird problem. I had vague feelings of impending doom. I thought it was because I was a high-risk obstetrician and I had internalized the many traumas my patients experienced. But when my baby was born normal and healthy, My impending doom fears did not go away. By the time my daughter was 4, I had become a pathology resident. And one day, I ran into my former nurse in the ultrasound department down in radiology. She looked panicked and told me that the ultrasound technician had just asked her how long her daughter had had a mass in her liver. I was at the microscope in pathology the day my attending read the liver biopsy diagnosing my nurse's baby with liver cancer. She died shortly after, and yet my 4-year-old was healthy. Driving home from the funeral, I realized 2 things. My feelings of impending doom were gone. And feeling very lucky to have been spared such pain, it was time to do something to give back. So now you know 3 things about me. I see differentness as a value added. I'm not afraid to speak truth to power and break rules if needed to get something good done. And I feel that my many blessings confer upon me a duty to give back. But why Rotary? Some people say that they prefer coming to a place with like-minded people, but no. Rotary challenges us to enlarge our comfort zones. And as I've just demonstrated with a few anecdotes, I don't want to be with a bunch of people just like me. I want to be with people who don't just raise money for third world countries, but go there. Meet with communities, ask what's needed, foster the development of students and local leaders, making achieved improvements sustainable. I want to be with people who've served our country and assure that veterans and their families are honored and made comfortable when healthcare is needed. I want to be with people who recognize the value of youth in our community, making sure they have access to mentors, scouting, public speaking, living abroad, higher ed scholarships, and leadership development. I want to be with people who work for our club behind the scenes and are seldom noticed while they're making the wheels of Rotary go round. I want to be with people who notice who comes and who doesn't, expressing concern for the health concerns of others while sometimes facing their own. I want to be with people who almost always exceed Helen Gilstrom's fundraising goals, and people who write letters to members who are ailing or suffering a loss, who laugh at goofy jokes and limericks even when told at their own expense, and who plan opportunities to visit hidden treasures in our community under the guise of fun and fellowship. I want to be with people who value compassion, justice, and truth, even though they have divergent thoughts and opinions about all sorts of things. In short, I want to be with people like you.
Wow, Nancy, I knew you'd be a tough act to follow. Thank you. That was very special. I don't have any announcements today, so I'll introduce today's speaker, Dr. David Reed, the director of AI2. He's the Associate Provost for Strategic Initiatives at University of Florida and the founding director of university's Artificial Intelligence Academic Initiative Center, AI2 Center. Dr. Reed has been at the forefront of expanding AI education across the full breadth of the University of Florida. UF now has over 200 AI courses in its 16 colleges and over 12,000 students per year taking AI courses. Dr. Reed is an authoritative voice in the teaching AI across the curriculum. He created AI2 to support faculty interested in learning about AI and building out new AI courses. The center also supports UF students who want to learn AI skills and move into AI-empowered jobs. Before leading UF and its Artificial Intelligence Initiative, Dr. Reed was the principal investigator of genomics lab that was funded by the National Science Foundation for 20 years in the Florida Museum of Natural History. Help me welcome Dr. Reed.
All right, it's a pleasure to be with you today to talk a little bit about artificial intelligence. I realize it's not a uniformly positive topic, and I think I want to address people who are concerned about artificial intelligence right off the bat by saying the things that keep you up at night about artificial intelligence are the things that keep me up at night too. Those concerns are valid. At the university, one of our biggest concerns is using AI tools for academic cheating. I think we all worry about AI getting into the wrong hands and nefarious actors doing really bad things using AI tools. And there are many others, the loss of jobs and a lot of other things. I think the stark reality is the horse is out of the barn. And this is a tool that especially our graduates from the University of Florida and other places are going to be using in their careers. They are using them now and they're going to be using them into the future. What we can do as educators is to try to give them the tools to use them correctly. And in fact, I'll talk about an AI ethics course that we require our students to take. And hopefully I'll give you some sense that we're preparing our students to leave the university and go into this digital world that we all live in, hopefully a little bit better prepared. How nice, I love that, very nice. So I should start with what is AI, not because I feel like I have to define it, but most people assume that artificial intelligence is really what we call generative AI, the things like ChatGPT and other tools that we use on a regular basis. But at the University of Florida, it's much, much larger than that. So it's everything from robotics, it's computer vision, it's machine learning, it's generative AI, and all of these are buzzwords, but basically they all boil down to one thing, and that is computers helping you make decisions, either decisions in a really timely fashion. Even my car now has self-driving components. It reads the speed limit signs as we pass them and shows that on a screen to me. It knows whether I'm too close to the car in front of me and it'll brake on its own. Those are computer vision interacting with a computer and making a decision many times faster than I could make it myself. So those are the kinds of things that AI represents. And when you're at a university as diverse as the University of Florida, it takes many different shapes across the university, all kinds of different ways in which AI has crept into the research and the teaching of our students. So we've been saying for the last 5 years, we've been at this for 5 years now, and I'll tell the origin story in just a minute, but for the last 5 years, we have been saying that we're building the nation's first AI university. And I can tell you we're farther along than any other college or university in the world. And that's a really special place to be. And I'll tell you why that's the case. But these are the components that are necessary to build a comprehensive AI university. And we think we're hitting on all of these. So first, you have to have a world-class AI supercomputer. We were really lucky to be gifted a large AI supercomputer, and we're actually already starting to replace it because those things don't have a long lifespan. We were lucky enough to get support from the state of Florida to hire 100 new faculty across our 16 colleges. I'll say a few more words about that in a minute. We already had probably 200 or 250 faculty using different artificial intelligence tools, and we were really able to add to that body of knowledge around the university in all departments. We've created new artificial intelligence courses all across the university, and I'll talk a little bit about that. That's really the area where UF shines the most, and that's how we're teaching artificial intelligence. We've branded that into a thing called AI across the curriculum. Other schools have doubled down on teaching AI simply in College of Engineering, or they've erected new colleges of artificial intelligence. We have a very different approach at UF, which is let the student choose the major that's their passion and teach them the AI tools that are relevant for that industry or that field. So of course, we use a lot of AI tools in the research that we do. There are AI tools being used to do incredible things in health and medicine and agriculture and many other fields all across the university. We take AI products to market. No better examples that I can think of than in agriculture. We have a lot of AI tools that have been developed and are now being sold and used and deployed all over the world. And hopefully that work will help to fuel Florida's high-wage, high-tech economy. We think so. And that's one of the reasons why we teach AI so broadly, because there are so many different ways students can have impact with those skill sets and those tools. So our origin story is this. The University of Florida was lucky to have an alumnus, Chris Malachowski, the one on the right, who graduated from the College of Engineering and went on to found, with two others, the company NVIDIA. And if you own any NVIDIA stock or have paid attention to it, you know that company has really grown tremendously over the last 10 years or so. But Chris Malachowski came back to the university. He wanted to give back to his alma mater, and he came to talk to university leadership about what form that gift might take. And it was everything from a building to helping fund students to naming professorships and all kinds of things. But he was really intrigued by what you could do if you wrapped one of NVIDIA's large AI supercomputers, envelop it in a big comprehensive university. For those of us who live in Gainesville, it may not be readily apparent how comprehensive the University of Florida is. There are really only about 3 other universities in the country that have as many majors and as many colleges as we do. And so that's a unique feature of the University of Florida. And so that was really appealing to him. And so he was already thinking, maybe I'll gift an AI supercomputer in partnership with NVIDIA to the University of Florida. And he asked our provost. So the provost is in charge of all the teaching and learning on campus. And he asked the provost, if I were to gift you an AI supercomputer, what would you do? And he asked him that in passing in a hallway. And the provost in 2020, long before ChatGPT was around, he said, you know, this tool is going to be really helpful for everybody, regardless of their major. If you were to gift us an AI supercomputer, we'll figure out a way to teach AI to any student across the university who wants to learn about it. And that was in 2020. In fact, it was right in the middle of COVID when this happened. So it was incredibly profound for him to say such a thing and for us to then embark on trying to teach AI so broadly. But that's our origin story, and that's exactly what we did. So they did gift us that computer, and my job was to figure out how are we going to teach AI to all of the students, or as many of them as want to take these courses, in majors as disparate as music on the one hand and engineering on the other. And we have courses in all of those disciplines. So we wanted to take AI education out of all the traditional units where it had been taught, which is primarily in the College of Engineering. We wanted to find out how to teach it to a wider audience, create a bunch of new courses that are specific to the major that you're in, and we facilitated doing that. We wanted to incentivize faculty to build out these courses or to at least add AI content to their courses. We wanted to incentivize faculty to go out and take a course that helps them learn more about artificial intelligence. But the most important thing that we did was we allowed the colleges and the departments to figure out how to do this on their own in the ways that are most relevant for their students. So the way that you teach artificial intelligence and engineering is very different than the way you might teach it in a creative writing department or the English department or the history department or the College of the Arts. And so we gave the colleges and the departments the flexibility to figure out what their niche was going to be in artificial intelligence. Fast forward to today, as Ryan said, we have over 200 AI courses across the university and 12,000 students every year taking those courses. That is really remarkable. There's no other school in the world that is doing that. The other thing we've been doing is trying to share that knowledge and how we did it and what we've done with everybody and anybody that'll listen, colleges around the world. One of the main tools that we had, I'm really proud of, it wasn't my idea, but it worked out very well. If you want to allow students to take their normal courses in their normal major, everybody's curriculum is tight. It's really hard to squeeze in another course. But when they vote with their feet, they know they need to learn what these AI tools are and what they can do and how to use them. So we had a couple of courses that were already on the books. One was a course called The Fundamentals of AI, and it was meant for any student to be successful in. You don't have to have any computer programming skill. You don't have to have any computer science background. It starts from zero knowledge about AI and computer science and teaches you the basics of artificial intelligence. And then we also had this course called Ethics, Data, and Technology. It's an AI ethics course. And everybody told us from the beginning, scientists and people at Google and IBM and NVIDIA and other places, you have to teach an AI ethics course because there's so much going on behind the scenes that is a black box that you don't know anything about what's going on in there. You don't necessarily know about the data that you've inherited. And there are a long list of really bad things that have happened because of artificial intelligence already. At least make sure these students are well prepared, so you need an AI ethics course. Well, by having those two courses already in the books, so to speak, at UF, we could make those 2/3 of a certificate that students could get. And the colleges and the departments really only needed to create one course, and their students would be able to take these 2 core courses and one more and have a certificate on their transcript that said they have proficiency in artificial intelligence. So we developed this long list of courses about the application of AI in every conceivable field. So we have AI in the life sciences, AI in agriculture, AI in the built environment, on and on and on for all the departments at the university. And so these students can now take this certificate. It's the 2 required courses plus 1 more, but they get something out of it. They get a certificate that says they've had this experience, and it shows up on their transcript. So we also try to give students experiential learning opportunities. One of the ways that we do that is we pair students with labs that are doing research in artificial intelligence. These are some of our undergraduate scholars in AI. We are planning on announcing 60 scholars coming up in the next few weeks. That's 60 students, undergraduate students, who are going to be working in research labs all across the university, from the College of the Arts to agriculture to zoology and everything in between. One of the favorite things that we do that engages our students is we have competitions using artificial intelligence tools every fall. So we have a hackathon. You've probably heard of hackathons before. This one's all AI related, and the students come from all over the university to do this. We also have a pitch competition, a business pitch competition we call Gator Tank, obviously named after Shark Tank. The first team that won this, we did it 3 years ago. The team that won this uses artificial intelligence and remote sensing to detect lightning strikes that could potentially cause wildfires. The cool thing about it is the AI determines whether a particular lightning strike was hot enough to actually start a fire. And it tells forest fighters out west, you can ignore that lightning strike, but this one is important. They had $3 million in contracts within months after this competition. I mean, that's the kind of students we have at UF. They're really, really remarkable. And then we had one this past year for the first time using generative AI. So the things like ChatGPT and other generative tools to create, whether it's spoken word, written word, or a song or an art piece, you can use generative AI to create things. And it is just so much fun in October to see what our students come up with during these competitions. One of our partners in this, and this is where you guys come in, one of our biggest partners in the work that we've done is the Career Connection Center. Every college and university has a career resource center where we match people who are looking for students with a particular talent to a job that can help them in their career. And these guys understood the mission right from the very beginning. If we were to train these students in AI skills, but they weren't able to get jobs using those skills, was it worth even the effort of doing that? So they work with companies all around Florida and around the world to find companies who are interested in having students who have some AI talent come for internships, for visits just to see the company, or to line up jobs at recruitment days. So UF has 2 amazing recruitment events twice a year. There was always a technical day and a non-technical day. Now they've squeezed in a 3rd day that's just AI focused, and there's hundreds of businesses coming to recruit students from the University of Florida on that AI day. And the businesses vary tremendously. Just to see the diversity of who's coming to that event to look for students with AI talent is really surprising. I want to give you one statistic about the marketability of AI skills. The Career Connection Center did a study where they pulled jobs out of their job board that had AI phrases in it, all kinds of phrases like machine learning and artificial intelligence. These are people who posted on our job board, they're looking to hire talent, and they used AI phrases. Out of 800 that they pulled out of the database, I think it was 640 were agnostic to your major. They didn't even care what your major was, but if you had these AI skills, they were after you. And so that tells you a couple of things. One, we're on the right track by teaching AI broadly, regardless of your major. But it also tells us a lot of businesses know that they need AI talent, but they're not exactly sure how they're going to use it. They're clamoring for people with these skills. So we continue to teach AI broadly, and that's kind of our mission at the moment at the University of Florida. By the way, it's not a required thing. This is something that students can opt into, but if it's not their bag, they don't have to do it. Completely optional. I just want to show a couple of quick pictures about AI in research. The one on the left is a fully autonomous strawberry picker. So it can be put into a field and the machine makes all the decisions as it goes. It determines how to navigate that particular strawberry field. As it goes over plants, it lifts up the leaf with one robotic arm, looks at a particular strawberry, determines by computer vision whether it's ripe enough to pick, and uses another robotic arm to pick it gently and put it in a basket and move on. And it makes all of those decisions on the fly by itself. So obviously, one of the big challenges we have in the state of Florida is finding human capital, people who can actually go out and harvest fruits and vegetables. And so Our vice president for agriculture feels like robotics is going to be a big part of the future of agriculture in the state of Florida. Obviously, we have a lot of people who work in the space industry at the University of Florida. They have a new space institute called Astraeus. They're deeply involved with AI, and the cool thing about this is it's everything from how do you make the rocket work better to the physiology of the astronauts while they're in space, everything in between, and AI has a big part in all of that. Things like detecting disease through MRIs, CAT scans, and many other forms. One of the studies that came out really recently, and this is surprising to me, they found that detection of tumors was actually better by the AI than it was with AI and an assisted physician present, which is not what we typically say. You know, this tool in the hands of a good physician is going to be remarkable. But what they found in this one particular study was the AI would find cancer that the physician would say, no, 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 that's not, and it later was detected as cancer. And so the potential for the AI tools can be surprising to all of us sometimes. Not that we're ever going to throw the human out of the loop. You have to have the humans in the loop, but they're really good tools sometimes. One of the guys that you might be familiar with is Reed Hayes. He does a lot of work with loss prevention in businesses. They use AI to detect behavior in parking lots before nefarious actors even enter a building to do something like rob or steal or whatever it is. And so artificial intelligence can alert you of unusual behavior even before a perpetrator enters a building. And that's something that they spend a lot of time working on at UF. We have construction robots that can go on site and be deployed to construct houses using timber framing or regular, 2x4 conventional framing. All kinds of applications of AI. We have made what's called a digital twin of our intensive care units at the University of Florida at Shands. This allows us to run simulations in a computer environment about patient health. It has all the telemetry from the patients. It has the information about the light and how intense the light is in the room, how many times people come and go, what the airflow is like for that room, as well as the medications and all the other stuff. And so it allows us to constantly simulate that in our big AI supercomputer to try and improve health outcomes. It also is a virtual reality headset thing. So if you're going to go have surgery, you can put on this headset and it'll walk you through what that pre-operation and post-operation procedure is going to be like for you to try and reduce anxiety before you have a surgery. This is done by Azra Bahorak, one of our faculty who is an AI specialist. And then one of the funnest things that's come out of this is AI in sports. We just hired a guy, Scott Nestler, stole him away from Notre Dame, who applies AI in sports. When I met with him, yeah, we got to make Gator Sports even better, right? So when I met with him, it's everything from NIL deals to the portal to player health, player performance, team dynamics, and marketing, ticket prices. I mean, everything conceivable has a potential AI bent to it and can be evaluated because they collect a lot of data, as you can imagine. So I want to end with this last concept, and then I want to take questions if we have time. Digital twins is one of the things you're going to hear a lot about, and it may not be the kind of artificial intelligence that comes to mind immediately, but just like that intensive care room, we digitize all the rooms, not just one, but a whole ward of intensive care, and all the sensors that go into that. A digital twin is a synthetic replicant of anything. It could be a digital twin of an old Studebaker, it could be a digital twin of my eye, or it could be a digital twin of an entire state, like the state of Florida. So the university is trying to create a digital twin of Florida. It would have all of our roadways, all of our waterways, all of our agricultural fields, all of our buildings, and it would allow us to simulate things like natural disasters and a lot of other things and learn in the process before those things happen. So we're starting with a digital twin of Jacksonville because there's a tremendous amount of data there. We're starting with other things that we have data for, like the roadway system and others. But these digital twins are going to be something that you see a lot more of because the technology is now there to build these things and then run tests on them constantly. And you can run millions and millions of tests on these large computers. So the University of Florida recently got this incredible award for the ingenuity of creating AI across the curriculum and the things that we're doing, and we're really proud of that. We've been spending a lot of time going around to other colleges and universities, letting them know what we're doing and telling them how they can do it, and giving away everything from the curriculums to the syllabi to, everything we can do to help others. And the reason for that is this. We have a AI workforce shortage in the US. If we keep training people in AI and computer science fields only, that's never going to create a dent in the workforce problem that we have. These AI tools are applicable in every conceivable business, every conceivable field. And so by training students broadly, you're going to have people coming into marketing fields and into financial fields and into construction fields with AI skills that they can apply directly. And they have all of that domain knowledge, all of that knowledge that comes with a traditional major, and layered on top of it, this extra work of artificial intelligence. So I'd like to stop there, and if you guys have questions and we have time, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you very much. John.
Questions? Mr. Cousin?
On the other side of the coin, are the teachers, high school teachers, professors, are they, I'm sure there must be some system set up for catching AI reports, AI thesis, what have you?
Yes.
How does that stand?
Yeah, it's a cat and mouse game, right? It's this red queen hypothesis. One evolves and then the other has to evolve in tandem. One of the things that I saw come out recently that I really like, the way we tell teachers to teach with it is you teach how to use the tool. And so with that, you show and you demonstrate the tool's not going to give you the kind of report that you want. You're going to improve it as a student, and you're not going to want to turn in just what they provide. That, of course, will change as the models get better. But we found ways to engage students in the process so that we know that they're using it, we know how they're using it. But one particular company has gotten good at flagging what has been cut and pasted into a Word document versus what was typed versus what was edited over time, and it'll highlight them in different colors. So I think that you're never going to get away from the cheating. That's always going to happen for people who want to do that. But I think it's really, the onus is unfortunately on the faculty to really think about how can I engage the student in learning this tool, dissuade them from cheating, and let them learn how to use that tool better. And that's a real challenge for faculty and K-12 teachers.
Back here.
Yeah.
I'm Doug Thompson. I thought your presentation was very interesting. I'm watching with interest the debate at the top 100,000 feet between Elon Musk and Sam Altman. And Altman, founded OpenAI in 2015 as a 29-year-old, I think, or no, maybe, about. Anyway, now it was a nonprofit, and Musk was involved in that. I think he put 30 million in it. Now they've jumped, and of course, Musk has said that he thinks AI could destroy humanity. I mean, he's just not saying replace jobs.
Right.
And I don't think Musk just fell off the turnip truck.
Right.
And I was curious in your response to that. I recall a science fiction movie, 20, 30 years ago, that robots were going to destroy humanity and win wars, and we wouldn't have to fight them. Comments on AI's danger. And also, under the freedom of speech or whatever, apparently we can't regulate them. They can pretty much have freedom to do whatever they want to do. Thank you for your comment.
Sure, thanks. So the things that keep you up at night keep me up at night. And certainly nefarious actors using AI to do really bad things is a very serious concern. I think our view at the University of Florida is we're not going to have a giant impact on that. When you think about the money being spent in industry on AI, whether it's Elon Musk or Sam Altman or anybody else, those are enormous dollars. I think what we can do at the University of Florida and have an impact on is educating our students about this digital world they live in and what these tools can do. And so by requiring the AI ethics course, this AI ethics course is taught 25 students at a time in person around a table. It's a typical philosophy course if you've ever taken one. And they discuss all the thorny issues like the one that you brought up and many others, and the one you brought up too, about academic integrity and cheating. They have to discuss all of those things in that classroom. I think we feel like our role is to educate. I don't think the genie's going back in the bottle, and it's under the control of people that have a lot more money than we do at the University of Florida. So I share your concern, and I worry about it all the time. Yeah.
One last question here from the back.
Sure.
So on that note, I was wondering, a few years ago, I thought, well, I wonder if AI could actually, in a few hundred years, actually help us to create a better world and a world government, which I think, I remember as a little kid, my dad told me at the dining room table that he only could see our future as a world government And the only way I could see that happening is maybe through AI. Is that something that you've considered or anyone is thinking about?
I think we consider it when we read about it in science fiction books and fantasize or whatever. I have no way of hypothesizing what a future is going to look like even in 5 years because of AI, and certainly not 10 and 50 years down the road. I'm an optimist at heart, and so I want to see these tools used to do really good things, and they have a lot of power and a lot of ability to do good things. So I continue to push that gas pedal and focus on the positive things that it can do. They can be great equalizers. They can take, people who need a lot more help and get them to a level that is equivocal to someone else who doesn't need that help. We see that in how they're used in teaching tools. One of the things that all of our kids are going to have are these agents. They're AI agents that are going to become their personal tutors. It's just like, the one that is on your Apple Watch or the one that's on your home device. But they're going to learn how your children learns, and they're going to learn how your children learn best, and they're going to help them as tutors right alongside your teachers. Hopefully they don't replace your teachers. That's another concern. But it's impossible to predict. It really is. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
Dr. Reed, thank you very much for joining us today and speaking.